Alright, you've seen the finished props, you've seen how they were made, but there can only be one winner. So I've assembled a team of elite builders to help me assess them further. Welcome to Judgment Day. Alright, so joining me today are two familiar faces. First up, we've got Mark Johnson, who you know from Homemade Movies. He just actually released a new episode of Homemade Movies over on Cinefix.
Hey everyone, really looking forward to seeing what you got.
And we've got Claire Max from DIY Costume Squad, who is currently a costumer with Castle Corsetry.
Hi, so excited to see what everybody came up with.
Alright guys, thanks so much for being here. Let's take one final look at the finished props before we dig in.
Wow, these all look awesome.
Seriously, these are really, really awesome.
Alright, so let's dig right in. Starting with our youngest contestant at 11 years old, this is Kellan's lightsaber.
Oh, that's so rad. I love this. This is so rad.
Interesting little, it looks like maybe a cap from something there on the top for that like textured part.
Well, I know it's the first one I've seen, but it's my favorite one so far.
And we have the detail of the very important belt ring there on the bottom, so you can put it on your belt.
It has all the major components. I am looking also at just sort of the ratio between thickness and thinness in some of the parts, and this one's like fairly even. I would maybe like to see some thinner pieces to contrast with some of the wider pieces.
It's a lot of different things fused together with hot glue, I can tell.
You know, hot glue can be a fickle mistress. Hot glue is not always predictable.
Yeah, I agree about the hot glue. I mean, I love hot glue. I use it all the time, but you can definitely clean it up a little bit more.
What are the little bands in the middle here? What are those made of?
We do actually see in the making of footage that Kellan sent that this is like a foam insulation that you use like on the edges of like windows and doors.
The insulation foam. And then he just painted it.
Oh, the like foam, that sticky foam tape stuff. That's a cool choice.
Kellan, that is great. You can clean it up maybe a little bit at the end, but all in all, that was awesome, man. That was really, really good.
Kellan, great job. I love your use of interesting materials on this.
Alright, great job, Kellan. Moving on to Carson.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, we've got one in the wild.
Oh, cool. What are those?
I feel like everybody has an interesting take on how they do that little ribbed section in the middle there.
I'm seeing a lot of like craft foam, maybe.
I do like the dynamics between the shapes on this one. Some parts are thinner, some parts are wider.
And I like how smooth the handle is on this one. Very smooth handle. Smooth and metallic looking.
I'm not crazy about the foam it looks like in the middle. It's like...
Yeah, no, I don't know how accurate the rings are.
Just because I like the unique take on it, but it's a little bit differently shaped than the original.
Each of those ribs go to a point where the original saber is flattened off, and something about that just like really catches my eye a little weird.
Carson, I gotta say, it's a totally rad piece, man. Great job.
Overall, really good proportions. I'm not seeing the control box or the D-ring on this one though.
Overall, I think it looks really great. It's very pretty looking. Great work, Carson. Really cool looking lightsaber.
Awesome. Okay, moving on to Nick.
Very nice looking.
This one looks like he had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, very cool.
We're back to the flat ribs with the black on the inside, silver on the outside, so that's good.
All right, I see my good pal duct tape there in the background. Love to see it.
Really good proportions throughout.
I like the paint job. It's got a bit of more of like a weathered look, which is really neat. This lightsaber has been used.
Overall, this one does have a little bit more of like a scrappy vibe, which of course I like.
Oh man, I hate to get nitpicky about this, but I guess you asked me to be the judge. The first thing I noticed is that the rings aren't all the same size. The lightsaber that we're trying to emulate is so geometrically perfect.
That's the area that people took the most different approaches to, is how they did that little rib section there in the middle.
Some of those ribs that are like, they get thicker and they get thinner. They could be evened out maybe a little bit more.
My main criteria I'm going on is like, do I recognize it as a lightsaber when it, you look at the overall thing, which I definitely do.
Nick, that was really cool. I like your creative use of materials and use of tape. I'd clean up those lines just a little bit.
Nick, great job. Great job on your lightsaber. It looks really good.
All in all, I'd say that was a really, really cool, solid effort.
All right, great job, Nick. Moving on to riders. Okay, this one's really cool. Immediately, the metal stands out to me.
All right, Ryder. First thing I noticed was that there's too many rings. I hate to be nitpicky.
Looks like I think it has, 10? Oh, I think it's 11. This one's got 11 ribs.
I'm looking at a lot of other details now, and it's pretty awesome.
I really love when you find things in the junk box and they fit together perfectly, especially this top like sink drain piece, whatever this is.
I love that.
I love when you find a thing that just works perfectly.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you used a lot of weird stuff here.
It looks like this one we have like maybe a brass rod as the base inside there.
I will say, as much as I love the brass rod in the middle, it is a little bit too thin, which is a bummer, but it's so cool to have used it, and the fact that stuff screwed into it is amazing.
I like whatever's going on with that top piece there.
I love whatever you used as the top silver part. What is that little curved piece of metal? It's almost like a sink piece or something like that. Like, okay, awesome.
Looks like instead of using an actual D-ring like some people have, he made the ring himself and is triangular, which actually is more accurate.
So I like the triangular D-ring shape there. Very good. Nice.
Ryder, super creative use of materials. This is really fun. Excellent job.
Great work on this. Yeah, I love your build. Good job.
I really love this one. Great job, Ryder. All right, moving on to Chase.
Very cool. Looks like we got mostly a foam and cardboard build on this guy. The classics.
Interesting use of materials.
All right, there's the kind of triangular pointy ribs again.
You were very creative with your number of rings. You only have 3, and that is, I think, falling about 6 short.
I feel like so far this one has the most accurate like base cap thing at the bottom.
I like the shape of the little square bits at the bottom there. Nice shape on those with the beveled edges.
I like that he weathered it up. In the picture I'm looking at, the lightsaber looks, totally nice and pristine, but if you're battling, it'll get weathered up.
But I'm not seeing the ring loop on this one or the control box.
I love some of the details that you did add.
Yeah, I gotta say, I really don't like those pointy ribs. They just don't do it for me.
That's what you look at is that little rib section in the middle there.
It's an interesting use of this material. It just doesn't look like the original saber to me enough. Oh, by the way, Chase and Carson, they're brothers.
They used the same material. He just used 3 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I was like, 2 people in the world randomly made that very specific choice to wrap their thing with that material that has like a point to it.
It's cool looking, but it's pretty far off from matching the original, I would say.
I mean, it looks nice. There's some real nice elements to it. Not quite the same as the original, but it's a unique take.
Alrighty, moving on to Tom.
Ooh, okay. All right. Whoa, now we're talking.
Wow, look at that.
I like this one. This one's great.
I really like this one.
The first thing that I see is the super clean rings. The rings are perfect. Like, that legitimizes everything else about this.
So we've got, I'm counting the ribs, we've got 7 on this one.
So it has 7 ribs instead of 9, but they're so perfect looking that I don't mind that much.
Great use of random materials.
I like the use of, it looks like some bottle caps or something there.
This one's also really accurate when it comes to what's silver, black, brass, silver. He really nailed all of the colors.
We got the triangular belt loop. Oh, and the little doodad for the belt loop to rest on as well. Nice details here.
What's that little green ring below the gold, in between the black and the gold? What's going on there? That's the one thing I'm looking at, and I'm just like, everything else is perfect.
I have a feeling that he ran out of silver spray paint when he was painting this green craft foam. That's what it looks like to me. I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more silver, but it's partially silver.
Really good job on the accuracy on this one, I think. All the proportions look good and the shapes.
One of my favorite things about this one are these little tiny buttons made out of foam, the red and green and black. I just love it so much. They're so tiny, but they just look so cool. I want to press them.
Yeah, I do. I like the paint job on that little control box guy.
Tom, this is really cool. I really like this piece.
Yeah, this one's really cool. I feel like you hold that one in your hand and you know you're holding Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah, great work on this, Tom. Super creative. Good job.
Yeah, great job, Tom. Okay, last but not least, we're gonna look at Shaw's.
Whoa, dude. So, okay.
This one has a nice overall look.
And what is that? What is that little gold piece?
Really cool control box, though. I love whatever this little material is that you use for that texture. That was a really cool idea.
Not sure what that is, but I like that it's 3D on the top. I like the dimension that gives.
There's a lot of cool stuff going on in this project.
We have a D-ring, an actual D-ring, instead of the triangular one. Close.
It looks like maybe some washers at the top there.
I do like the use of duct tape. The whole bottom is duct tape. That's okay.
Good old duct tape. Love some duct tape.
Yeah, very cool.
And let's see how many ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it looks like we have the accurate number of ribs. Oh, no, we don't. 7 or 8. Yeah. Close.
I gotta say, I really don't like the pointy ribs. I'm sorry. And this isn't the foam ribs either, like the other two. This is like a plastic thing.
You're using the pull-out little snapper pop 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 thing.
Yeah, oh, one of those tubes, those like tubes that make a cool noise when they...
It doesn't ruin the whole thing. I mean, this looks great, but those pointy triangular ribs are just like, I'm not feeling them.
I like the use of that expandy hose, even though it's maybe not totally accurate to the original.
This one is really, really cool. I will say overall it has a lot of kind of crooked parts.
I'd say watch your geometry a little bit. Try to make some cleaner angles.
Like I can see that the pipe wasn't cut really super straight, and then in the pieces on the top that are glued together, they're kind of like askew a little bit, you know? So you just gotta really watch that stuff when you're letting the glue dry.
And that takes away from some of the other parts, which are really great.
I'm going off of like proportions and whether all the elements are there. So yeah, I think this one looks real good.
Your piece is very interesting. Good job.
All right, great job, Shaw. Okay, that's it. That's all of them. Great job to everybody. You should be so proud of yourselves. These are all amazing.
Everybody, great job. That was so awesome.
Yeah, great work, everybody, on all of your builds. These are all so creative. You all did such a good job.
All right, so now the three of us judges are going to deliberate and weigh the pros and cons. Thank you so much to Mark and Claire for joining me. They're going to be back with me in the next episode to announce our winner.